Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? Episode 66. Everyone looked shocked at Willow's announcement.
"That's ridiculous," Colina said. "She must be wrong. Thousands of people haven't died anywhere, except maybe—"
"The battlefield. The field of blood," Willow finished. "Could this be it? How do we find out?" Sigurd opened his mouth, but before he could speak, he grew still. His eyes widened to unimaginable proportions, as if he were staring at a terrifying sight. Willow turned and followed his line of sight. Before her eyes was a dense mist rolling in from the tree line, coming right at them.
"The mist of Kaliva!"
Colina yelled, jumping to her feet.
"We've got to get out of here before it reaches us."
"No!" Willow cried. "We can't. I just remembered what the Book of Ivy said about the mists.
All who wish to receive the mist's bountiful gifts must stay within its loving embrace until it departs. But beware the weak and unbrave, for all will be tested. The mist weeds out all who are unworthy, giving her gifts to only a few. We've got to stay here if we're going to get the next sacred object."
"There's no we about it," Sigurd said. "You've got to stay. This is your quest, remember? The rest of us can come and go as we please."
"Didn't you hear what she said?" Hawk said sharply. "Everyone who stays and is brave enough to pass whatever this mist puts us through will receive a gift. Don't you have the guts to stick around?"
"I guess that means you're staying here?" Sigurd snarled.
"I'm staying until I can't take whatever this test is anymore," Hawk answered. "Before the mists get here, I want to make something abundantly clear," Willow said hurriedly, as the mist moved closer and closer to them. "The mist is probably going to test each of us in different ways. When you can't take it, leave. I don't want anyone hurt or traumatized because of some misguided attempt to stay by my side."
"Understood," Hawk said. The others nodded their understanding.
"Oh my gods, it's almost here,"
Colina said, moving backwards, as if she were trying to get away from it.
"It's going to settle upon the entire field," Willow said. "The only way to avoid it is to leave now. But be warned, if you leave, I don't think you'll be able to come back until it's gone, and you won't have the chance to receive the mist's gifts."
"Come, sit back down," Natsal said, patting the grass next to him. "I'll protect you from the evil mist."
"I don't think this is a good idea,"
Colina said as she reluctantly came back to the group and sat next to Natsal.
"Not a good idea at all."
"Remember, nobody is going to force you to stay," Hawk said.
"I'd like to see them try,"
she said bravely. Natsal chuckled. "Someone say something," Laughlin ordered after a minute of tense silence. The mist was getting closer. They all knew it, and the group was waiting for something to happen. What? They weren't sure. They only knew it couldn't stay peaceful forever. "Sig, tell us a story," Hawk said.
"Oh, do! You always come up with the most imaginative tales, Willow said. Everyone else threw in their own words of encouragement. All right, Sigurd said. I can tell when I'm outvoted. Let me think for a second. Stories just don't come out of nowhere, you know. He thought for a few seconds before he asked, What type of story do you want? Something scary? A story dark enough to give you nightmares for a week? Or something tamer, more happy and fairy tale-like? No, Kalina said. Nothing scary. The mist is already going to give me nightmares for a week. I don't need you adding to my fear. Okay, then I've got the perfect thing. Just as Sigurd was going to start his story, the mist reached the group. It engulfed their camp very fast, starting with Willow and Sigurd, who had their backs to it. Then it moved to blanket the others. Under a minute later, they were all surrounded by the mist, unable to make out anything clearly, even the others in their group. Their clothes, skin, and hair were damp. Willow felt cold and clammy all over. She didn't think there was 1 inch of her body not wet, and no matter how close she crept to the blazing fire, she couldn't warm up or shake the dampness which had settled in her bones. Sigurd waited until the mist had passed them, and everyone had resettled themselves, before he began his story. Once upon a time there was a peasant girl. She traveled far distances from home and met a man she came to love. Finally, after much persuasion, she settled down with the man, and they lived happily ever after. The end. What? Azrin yelped. That's not a story. Hell, that's barely a description of a story. If you can't do any better than that, I'll tell you all a really good story. A true story, if you believe the sailor who told me it. Just make sure it's not scary, Loffen said, sounding intrigued. Of course. There was this royal ship, the Verva, and it sailed the seas for at least 100 years, Azrin said. Which royalty did it belong to? Natsal asked. I don't know, Azrin said. It doesn't matter. Who's telling the story anyway? You are, he answered. Then let me tell it how I want to. Now, where was I? All right, the Verva. She was a beautiful ship. Well, not as gorgeous as the Farroof was, but that's beside the point. The Verva was the pride of her navy. Men fought each other for the honor of sailing on her. The waiting list to man her was longer than 5 grown men lined up from head to toe in an unbroken chain. Shut up! Adelina growled suddenly, drawing Willow's attention away from the story. What's wrong? Willow asked, looking over at the blob that was the snow leopard. The mist made it impossible for her to see Adelina's expression. Those stupid souls! They keep whispering to me, and it's more annoying than when the boy starts spouting his feelings. What are they saying? She asked. Nothing of importance. Some of them seem to think they're still in battle. Those commanders really know how to belt out orders. So you're hearing the voices of the soldiers? Yep, except for this female voice. She's different. Be quiet. I think I'm going to try to hear what she's saying. That is, if those men will shut up for a minute. So the captain says, I don't care what the compass says, we're traveling the right direction. Keep us going straight. Now the navigator and the first mate think the captain's crazy, but they don't say anything. Can't mutiny on a captain just because they're stupid, or else nobody would want to captain, would they? Before anyone could answer Azrin's question, Loffen screamed and jumped to her feet. Did you see it? See what? Hawk asked, getting to his feet. His hand was on the pommel of his sword. What were we supposed to have seen? He asked, more forcefully, when she didn't answer his question. I thought I saw. Saw what? Azrin asked. Sit down. There's nothing here except us and this danged mist. Don't disrespect the mist, Kalina said harshly, or you'll be sorry. Like it can do anything, Azrin said with confidence. Before anyone else could say anything, Natsal got to his feet and started walking away from the fire. Natsal! What are you doing? Hawk asked. Natsal didn't respond, and he walked deeper into the mist. Man, get back here! What's wrong with him? Kalina asked. Should someone go after him? We can't, Willow answered. We don't know where he's going or why. Perhaps this is all part of the test. The test for whom? Us or him? Sigurd asked in a deep voice. I'm not sure, Willow said. He's doing what the voices are telling him to do, Adelina growled, drawing everyone's attention. What did the voices tell him to do? Willow asked. Why is Adelina glowing? Loffen asked, moving closer to Azrin, who was looking at the snow leopard as if she'd grown another head. What's wrong, Adelina? Hawk asked from next to her. How am I supposed to know what these idiots told him? All I know is that they surrounded him and whispered things in his ears. As for me, nothing's wrong, except I'm being driven crazy by these souls. Why won't these stupid soldiers be quiet? She asked, her former white fur now red. She's fine, Willow said in a shaky voice. She's just hearing voices, and it's annoying her. She also said that Nat Soul's following some orders. Orders? Kalina asked. Orders from whom? The souls which inhabit the mist, Willow said reluctantly. That's it, Loffen said. I'm out of here. Buck up, Azrin ordered. Nothing's even happened yet. Don't be a coward. Don't say things like that, Hawk ordered. If Loffen wants to leave, she can, and nobody's to look on her any differently. Understand me? Yes, sir, Azrin muttered. I'll stay, but one more thing and I'm... Loffen screamed, this time while staring at something across the fire. It's... Loffen screamed again. What is it? Sigurd yelled, grabbing Loffen by the shoulders and shaking her a little. Stop screaming and talk to us. It was my grandmother, but it can't be. She's been dead for 5 years. That doesn't mean you have to scream, Kalina said harshly. But she was different. She was covered in blood and worms and dirt and... Loffen screamed yet again, terror evident in every inch of her body. I'm out of here, Loffen shouted. She picked up her bag and started backing away from the figure only she could see. I can't stay here. No, don't follow me, she shrieked before she turned and ran away from the fire, disappearing into the mist. They could hear her yells and curses as she ran farther away from them. Her screams seemed to echo in the mist, reverberating around the group, still in the field of blood. 2 down, 5 to go, a voice whispered into Willow's ear. Who said that? Willow asked. The tension in the group escalated at her words. Said what? Kalina asked cautiously. Never mind. Probably my imagination. Or the mist, Sigurd said. You're not feeling weird, are you? Or seeing anything funny? Not yet, she answered. Where were you in the story? She asked Azrin. I was talking about the captain and his orders, right? Azrin asked cautiously. Yes, Hawk said, his hand still on the pommel of his sword. His eyes were continuously on the move, never stopping at one place for more than a second before they moved on. You have been listening to From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. Read, recorded, mastered, encoded, and produced by Colbyjack.net. This work is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it, just don't try to profit from it. Heaven knows we can't. If you have any questions, comments, or rants you wish to share with us, we can be reached at Colbyjack at Colbyjack.net. That's COLBYTRAX @ COLBYJACK.net. Yep, I sing it too. If you want to follow the exploits of Trisha in Twitterland, just search for Lady Trisha W on Twitter, or follow the ever-dashing, courageous, hardworking, intelligent, and immensely humble Colbyjack on the Twitters as well. If you find that you can't, just wait to find out what will happen with Willow, the strong dude and the annoying dude. Be heartened to know that From the Flames is available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Smashwords, as well as from our little shop. Didn't you know about our little shop? Why, yes, we have a little shop located at shop. That's shop.colbyjack.net. That's shop.colbyjack.net. Yeah, real original there. There you will find the latest ebook versions of all our works in both Mobi and ebook, all DRM-free, as well as audiobook versions of such works as Firmware Hijacked and Proxy, as well, naturally, as well as From the Flames. The audiobooks differ from the podcasts in that the headers and bumpers only run once, and the episodes are grouped into hour-long episodes for easy burning to CD or for downloading on the go.
If you find you don't need any stuff, but just want to thank us monetarily for our efforts here, just head on over to Colbyjack.net, select either audio or visual, and look for the donate button located on the blog roll. Well, anyway, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week, and remember to be fabulous.